Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. Do you ever feel like no matter how hard you work, it's getting harder to feel financially secure? If so, you're not alone. More than half of Americans say that they feel anxious or stressed about money. With prices climbing, savings stretched thin, and debt on the rise, it's easy to feel like you're just treading water. But you're not powerless. Today, let's dig into what's really going on, and more importantly, how you can start building a sense of security for yourself, no matter where you're starting from. Let's start with the big stat. Just 44% of US adults feel confident about their financial situation right now. That's a little up from last year, but down majorly from previous years. And 30% of Americans say they don't feel secure at all. The rest, well, they fall somewhere in the middle, sometimes feeling okay, sometimes feeling stressed. So what does it mean to feel financially secure? Well, for most people, it's about confidence, knowing you're on track to reach your financial goals, knowing you can handle an emergency, knowing you can have a steady financial life no matter what life throws at you. So why are so many Americans struggling to feel financially secure? Let's dive into the key factors contributing to this widespread concern. Inflation has had a lingering impact. Over the past 6 years, inflation has absolutely affected the purchasing power of the vast majority of Americans. Here's a breakdown of the annual inflation rates and the impact it's had on our money. When you add up all these years, $1 from 2019 has the purchasing power of just 82 cents at the end of 2024. That's an 18% loss in what your money can buy. While the rate of inflation has slowed, it's crucial to understand that we're still paying higher prices. We're still paying the elevated price. $1 today simply doesn't go as far as $1 in 2019 did. So while inflation isn't as high today, we are still paying higher prices. So what does that mean for your paycheck? If you are earning $50,000 in 2019, you need to be earning at least $61,000 today just to have the same buying power. If your income hasn't kept pace, you're effectively falling behind. And this squeeze is exactly what so many Americans are feeling in their budget right now, why things feel like they're running so thin. Savings are a critical component of financial security, yet many Americans find themselves with insufficient reserves. Approximately 39% of women and 33% of men have less than $100 in personal savings. Only 17% of Americans have enough saved to cover a full year's worth of living expenses, and about 42% lack an emergency savings fund altogether. These stats highlight how vulnerable so many people are to unexpected expenses and why it's so hard to feel financially stable. At the same time, debt levels have reached unprecedented heights. Total household debt stands at about $18 trillion. The average household debt is approximately $105,000. Credit card debt has surged to $1.21 trillion, with delinquency rates climbing to levels not seen since 2008. The rise in debt levels, coupled with higher interest rates, is putting an additional burden on American households. It's getting harder to juggle debt obligations while simultaneously saving for the future. Beyond personal finances, broader economic factors do contribute to financial insecurity. We've got a stock market that's more volatile than ever. We're seeing a lot of volatility in job markets, and this is creating a lot of income uncertainty. Healthcare costs continue to rise. The overall economic environment, including concerns about potential recessions or policy changes almost daily, adds to this general sense of uneasiness. These elements all combine to create a sense of instability and making it hard for us to feel confident about our financial futures. But here's the good news. There's a clear difference in the habits of people who do feel financially secure, and the best part is, these are habits anyone can build. For one, financially secure people are more likely to call themselves disciplined planners. And maybe the motto is, if you say it, it will happen. Now, this doesn't mean that they budget every single penny, but it does mean they have a rough idea of how they're going to spend their money. Maybe at the start of the year, they plan out roughly how many vacations they're going to take and when they're going to happen. At the start of a month, maybe they generally plan out about how many times they're going to eat that month. They have a general generalized plan. Also, keep an eye on their spending and actually track their savings. Maybe it's through an app on your phone, maybe it's through a spreadsheet, or maybe it's simply logging on to your bank account and looking at the balance. Little acts like this make sure that you're on top of your money and you know exactly what's happening with it. Another habit, they set clear financial goals and they check on them regularly. They don't just use a set it and forget it approach. For someone who is making the intention to pay off their credit cards, or for someone who is building up their emergency fund, they actually check on their progress as time goes by. This one is a biggie for me. They keep an emergency fund even if it's small. For some, maybe that's $500. For others, it's $1,000. It's enough to have something aside that one small unexpected expense doesn't completely derail your life. And it's not about the size, it's about having something set aside so these little expenses don't disrupt your life. Retirement savings is a routine, not an afterthought. Even if it's just a small amount, say $50 from every single paycheck, or it's making sure to automatically contribute to your investments and making sure to capture your employer match. Over time, all of these little moves add up and they make a big difference. And finally, financially secure people stay on top of debt. They pay more than the minimum balance on their credit card, and they think long and hard before taking on any new debt or making any big purchases. At the end of the day, you don't have to be perfect, but habits like this add up and compound over time and really give you the confidence to feel secure in your finances. And one last thing, financial security isn't a straight line. Everyone faces setbacks at some point, whether it's a surprise medical bill, a job loss, or something you just didn't see coming. It's not about never getting knocked down. It's about getting back up and adjusting your plan and continuing to make progress. And honestly, those bounce backs build resilience and give you more confidence on your financial journey. So if you're not feeling financially secure right now, you're definitely not alone, and you don't need some massive windfall or a sudden life change to get started. Building financial security almost never happens in these big sweeping moves. Instead, it's usually about small, consistent steps in the right direction. Try tracking your spending for just 1 week. Seriously, you might be surprised to see where your money goes, and sometimes it takes just seeing the numbers to spark some change. Next, work on building up a little emergency cushion. It doesn't have to be thousands of dollars right away. Even just $500 set aside can be enough to turn a financial emergency into a minor inconvenience. Consider bumping up your savings rate by just 1%. It may not feel like much, but small changes like this over a long period of time really make a big difference. Also, if you have any lingering debt, maybe it's a credit card debt or a personal debt, consider knocking it out as quickly as possible. You'll never really know how good it feels to be debt-free until you get there, and just shedding one debt can make a big difference. The key thing to remember is financial security is built through steady, realistic actions, not overnight miracles. Start small, keep going, and you'll be surprised how much progress you can make. Remember, financial security isn't about hitting a certain net worth or about being rich. It's about giving yourself options, feeling less stress, and feeling more confidence with yourself and your decisions that you get to make. So what habit do you want to work on first? Leave your thoughts in a comment down below. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I'll see you soon. Bye. Prices remain elevated. 2019 did. Day as it was before. I can't do that. I want to so bad, and if you knew me in my personal life, I would do that. I can't do that publicly on YouTube. So funny though. My own entertainment, I know.